as the scorecard stands, a Benn has never beaten a Eubank in the ring.
And they never will. The procedure will be parliamentary. I will uphold the family name. This is not a time to be cordial. If there's ever a day that he comes clean about what happened and why it happened, why he failed those drugs tests, then we can talk about shaking hands. Until that time, no respect will be given to this kid. None. I hate what he represents. What he did in failing these 2 drugs tests, in my opinion, is unacceptable. As you said, people have been paralyzed, people have died. I've just got to make sure that we set an example here. He's put question marks against the Benn name because, as they say, like father, like son. So if he's capable of cheating, it's not about selling the fight. The fight's already been sold. I was doing things and saying things that I just believed were right. I believed had to be said, had to be exposed. There's a lot of shady people in this industry, and I love shining a light on those individuals. Interesting thing about this fight is that there will be 2 bad guys. It's fun. I enjoy it. I love the haters. I love the doubters. I love getting booed into arenas and drinks flying, and I feed off of that energy now, as sick as that sounds. So it's okay. But Conor does not. That's the big difference. Conor is a completely different animal to me. Conor is, he used to be the golden boy. Everyone was behind him. Everyone supported him. Everyone wanted to see him become the next big thing. And now he has an army of haters just like me. For me, emotions do nothing but complicate and stifle and ruin a performance. When you really hate somebody, you're not thinking straight. You're not acting accordingly. You're not sticking to the game plan. All you want to do is tear this guy apart because you hate him. I do want to tear this guy apart, but I'm going to do it clinically. I'm going to do it with a boxing brain, not a mind full of hate.
The animosity seems to stem from the drug test failures.
It's very, very personal now. Before our old men fought 35 years ago, the people want to see us fight. And it is a great story. Now, me and Conor have our own history. We have our own beef. We have our own story. You mix that together with the fact that our fathers have fought, it makes for, an insane event, an insane story, an insane night, because it's real. And it's never happened before in the history of boxing, and it will never happen again.
I think it's going to be detrimental to Chris Eubank Jr. if he loses, not just for the family name, but just because of the stage of his career. If he loses to Conor Benn at this stage of his career, other than a rematch with Conor Benn, he's probably got nowhere to go.
The day I found out that, they were saying that these drug tests, these failed drugs tests, were because of contaminated eggs, the day I heard that story, that fabrication, that fantasy that they really kind of stuck with, I said there and then, I'm going to hit this guy with it across the face as soon as I get a chance. And that was 2.5 years ago. Planned, it was anticipated. It was an egg of justice. It was a symbol. It wasn't about attacking him or hurting him or slapping him. It was about making an example. I had to shine a light on the fact that he was a cheat. Too many times these guys, so many guys in the industry, they get popped for drugs, they pay a fine, they serve a little ban, and then they're back in the ring, and 6 months later, a year later, like it's nothing, and people forget. I couldn't bear for that to happen in this instance. I had to do something which was going to remind people for the rest of this kid's life. You are a cheat, and there's no hiding it. There's no forgetting it. Conor doesn't know what he's talking about. He's saying things because he's a meathead who's just trying to get a reaction out of me. We've had so much time to prepare for these interviews and press conferences and TV shows. How are you coming into these things with like 1 or 2 lines? Like, are you that much of an idiot that you can only muster up 2 or 3 lines? Your dad doesn't like you. You're an idiot. You have the IQ of a 5-year-old, and I'm gonna smash your head in or something like that. He keeps saying it. He says like 2 or 3 things over and over. That's what he says. I don't know how someone can be so stupid. I guess not everyone can be educated. Not everyone can be able to talk and make sense of what they're saying. This fight is so huge that I have coming up that I genuinely haven't thought about anything else. You know, the name Canelo Alvarez has been mentioned, and obviously this is a fight that I would love to have and that I, you know, would of course take in the future. But, you know, in terms of mapping out what I'm doing next, I've given no energy and thought to it. My full focus is on April 26th, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That's all that matters in my life right now. After that fight is done, then you sit down and you think, all right, where do we go from here? But if you start trying to plan it out before then, it's a very dangerous thing, you know? And I've done it. I've gone into fights, you know, thinking about the fight I'm gonna have next, who I'm gonna call out, what I'm gonna do, where I'm gonna go. And, you know, that I've made mistakes in the lead up or even in the fight. You can't overlook. You can't risk that mistake. It's not worth it, you know. Full focus is what you need.
Everyone's bought into the fight. We all know the drama, the rivalry's real. My greatest worry is these two boys don't bump into each other when no one's around.
Yeah,
because if they do, it's happening. I'll 100%. It's worse than that, mate. It's happening on site, I think. I just hope it doesn't, but we don't need it in our sport. But listen, I think the way they carry themselves, I hope they wouldn't be so stupid as to spoil it by doing that. But you can just never rule it out.
I will not be an accomplice to their stupidity, to their circus. It's against the rules, what's happening is against the rules. 147 fighting 160 is against the rules. When Kell Brook was made to fight GGG, it's against the rules. You know, that boy had his eye socket smashed. This is what happens. The promoters, to them it's just a game. But to the warriors, it's a way of life. Right. Junior, you're smashing an egg against this guy's face. I taught you that. I didn't teach you that. Who taught you that? Did Karen teach you that? Who taught you that? That's disgraceful. I'm gonna stand in your corner. You must be mad. You must be mad. I would never be in your corner. You're a disgrace. You're smashing an egg in someone's face, and then you're trying to justify it. There's no justification for that. There's nothing noble about that.
Ali, listen, if a piece of that shell would have went in his eye, mate, the fight's off. Because I've got 2 scratched eyeballs from fighting myself, and let me tell you, mate, it's not nice. It's one of the worst pains you'll ever have.
Did Chris Eubank go too far in the face-off when he slapped the drug cheat with an egg? Or did Conor Benn deserve it? Drop your thoughts in the comments and hit like on the video if you're backing Team Eubank.